Hello, my name is Iana Sundari. For me, wellness has been a part of my life since birth. I was born in Brooklyn and raised in Harlem, and also raised in Yogaville, which is a yoga spiritual community in Virginia. And meditation has been a part of my life, my entire life. That's not to say that I've always practiced it. There were definitely times in my teens and in my 20s when I thought, who has time to be sitting around deep breathing? Um, and I recognized when my parents died and I needed to scrape myself up off the floor and figure out how to put one foot in front of the other, that meditation was something that was important for me to come back to. I think that, especially when relating to grief, for me, I had to work in what I called like file drawers, right? And so for these few hours I could open this drawer, and maybe that was my work drawer. And for these few hours I could socialize. And my grief drawer stayed quiet and closed until I was ready to handle it. And if you keep that drawer closed, eventually files start falling out of your cabinet. And so I realized that if I wanted to keep my file cabinet organized and tidy and productive and something that wasn't scary to open, that I was going to need to set aside time each day where I could safely open that drawer and know that whatever came out, I had the space to deal with. Um, and so meditation was that. And it gave me, sometimes it was 2 minutes, sometimes it was 10 minutes every single day to sit down and just be quiet and not have to deal with anyone else's reaction to my grief, but just to sit with myself. I find that mantras or repeated phrases are ways to get my mind still. Because especially when you're dealing with grief, just being a human in the world, but especially when dealing with grief, the mind is constantly racing. In yoga, we call it like monkeys swinging from trees to trees. It just never stops. And so, in order to get quiet, I don't expect that I'm just going to sit down and cross my legs and like peace is going to come. I have to begin to train the mind to slow down so that I can sit in meditation. And so we'll do a breathing exercise, and then we'll use a mantra, and then we'll sit for a few moments in silence, and we'll come back together and just check in and see how we feel. Let's start with sitting up nice and tall. And now you can sit on the floor if your hips and your back allow that. You can also sit in a chair. I'm sitting in a little rocking hammock. You can sit on your bed. But you want to sit with either your feet planted on the floor or your legs crossed, and just allowing yourself to sit up nice and tall. We all tend to slouch. That doesn't allow the breath to move. So we're going to sit up tall, but then let your shoulders go and let your arms relax and let your eyes close. Feel all the muscles of your face become a little bit softer. And then let your legs go. And let your feet relax, even your toes. See if you're clenching your hands. And let's begin to pay attention to the breath. We're going to start with taking 3 breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, so that we can start to release tension that we're carrying. Breathing in and out. In and again, breathing in and out. And then let the breath return to your nose. Close the mouth, but let your jaw relax. And start to pay attention to how the breath moves in the body. Normally, we breathe in our chest only, which doesn't allow us to take very deep breaths, and it doesn't help with settling anxiety. We want to start to breathe from the belly and let the breath move from the belly up into the ribs and up into the chest. So start by placing your hands on your belly. Sit up a little bit taller and let your shoulders go again. And imagine your belly like a balloon. And when you inhale, let your belly get big. When you exhale, let your belly come back towards you, getting smaller. Take 3 breaths that way. Inhale, belly big. Exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. It can be a bit difficult to manage breathing in the belly and not breathing in the chest, but just be gentle with yourself. You're learning something new maybe. And often, as much as I've done this breath exercise, if I'm having a stressful day, it takes me 5 minutes just to find my breath. So really go easy on yourself. So if you've started to feel how the breath moves in your belly, put one hand on your ribs and one hand on your belly. And the inhale will make your belly big, and then you'll see if you can bring it up underneath this other hand. So it's almost like the ribs move outwards. And when you breathe out, the ribs come back in and the belly comes back in. So let's try 3 of those. Inhale. Exhale. Belly last. Again. Exhale. One last one. Inhale. And exhale. For the last breath, we're going to use the entire torso. So we call the breath in yoga prana. So we're going to fill the torso, the body, with prana. And so it's going to go belly, rib cage, chest, and you exhale chest, rib cage, belly. So imagine it like filling from the bottom, emptying from the top. Nice and slow. I put one hand on my belly and one hand over my heart. And I want to see if I can feel my belly move and that wave move. Feel the breath move up to my heart space. And then give long exhales. Beginning. See how those 3 breaths felt. See if you've begun to slow down a bit. After the 3rd exhale, just allow your breath to relax and check in with yourself. See if you notice that you're starting to slow down a little bit. Let's move on to a mantra. As a culture, we're looked at as though we're supposed to be so strong all the time. Some of us carry our strength as our badge of honor. we've had to be strong. We continue to have to be strong. But with that strength should come times when you allow yourself to rest, and that you remind yourself and give yourself permission to let go. And so as we sit here and breathe, on the inhale, you'll say the word let. On the exhale, you'll say the word go. And we'll say this all mentally, all in the mind. I'll repeat it for you. And then we'll sit together and we'll meditate together. And you'll be repeating it to yourself. And you might find that you start to wander, the mind starts to wander. That's normal and natural. Just bring it back to the words. Let go. Closing the eyes and taking one of those long belly breaths. Begin inhaling let. Exhale go. Inhale let. Go. Let. Go. Let. Go. Slowly let the words float away. Find that belly breath again for 3 more breaths. Bring both hands to rest on your chest, fingertips resting on your collarbone. Say to yourself, it is okay to let go. It is okay to let go. It is okay to let go. Bringing the hands together in prayer, we bow to each other, to ourselves, and we say Namaste. Now imagine if you set aside time each and every day to meditate, to let go, to not be so strong. I wish that for us all. Namaste.